Who you allow in your circle can be very costly. It brings me to the verse of 1 Corinthians 15:33. Bad company ruins good morals. The cost of allowing harmful influence is not only temporary discomfort, it can shape your character, your choices, and your direction. This brings me to something that happened in my life on my wedding day. See, I suffer a father wound, and as a result, I have PTSD. And because of that, certain things can trigger me. In my case, the things that trigger me are disrespect. The things that people do that are disrespectful. So, on my wedding day, my husband now, him and I, were married back in December of 2022. We got married in Vermont, a very beautiful place that my husband picked out for us, in a place called Woodstock, Vermont. It was just charming. It was the Hallmark setting. It was just beautiful. I wanted something Christmassy. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And my husband set this up for me so that we would have this kind of a wedding. It was very small. We only invited just a couple people. Very small little setting. But my husband invited who he called his best friend to be his best man. He said this was someone that he would call his brother, who was always there for him in time of need, and his best buddy. So he wanted this person to stand for him in our wedding. So the wedding ceremony happened. Everything was beautiful. You know, we had a photographer there taking pictures. It was just a very beautiful day. We had a little reception, and everybody was drinking sort of champagne and having a few drinks, just celebrating the occasion. And his best man reached over to Tony and told him that Tony's ex-wife just remarried 2 weeks ago. Now, I didn't hear this going on. Tony later told me what this was spoken to him from his best man. His best man told him this while we were sitting at our reception eating. When Tony told me what had happened and that his ex-wife got remarried a couple weeks ago, words cannot say just how triggered I was. I didn't know Tony's best man very well. I mean, this was somebody that was in Tony's life, and quite frankly, his ex-wives, they were all friends. And so I'm assuming they were still friends with the ex-wife, which I didn't really know all this at the time. However, regardless of who's still friends with who, my point is that this man brought up something about his ex-wife on my wedding day. On the day that is supposed to be the most memorable day in my life. And because of that, because that happened, it resulted into me going back into our, I guess you could say, in another room, crying. And the photographer was sitting out there waiting to take pictures. I mean, all of this held up everything that was supposed to be going on for the rest of our day, because I was literally sitting in the back room crying, upset, wondering if I had just made the biggest mistake of my life. See, bad company can ruin your life. It can ruin situations like this. Not being considerate to think of your friend's wedding, to bring up something such as your ex-wife just got remarried 2 weeks ago, didn't belong as a conversation on our wedding day. It ruined the day. The rest of the day was just somber. There wasn't a whole lot of interaction anymore. It was just not a good rest of the day. Who we choose to be a part of our life and a part of our path is extremely important. And again, this person that brought this information up unknowingly didn't realize it was going to be a problem. But see, we have an adversary, and the devil knows exactly how to mess things up. He knew exactly what my triggers would be. He knew exactly what he needed my husband's best man to do and say to cause conflict on our wedding day. Because see, that's what the devil does. He tries to ruin relationships. He tries to ruin marriages. He tries to destroy the family unit. And that's exactly what his aim for on that day was. To destroy the relationship that we were trying so hard to bring together and make a life with one another. And from that day forward, my husband and I have had a rough go. All because of a comment that was made on our wedding day that didn't belong on our wedding day. And I hate to say it, this person is no longer in our life. You have to make a decision to cut things off with people that don't value your friendship enough to honor and respect that certain conversations don't belong at certain times. That conversation could have been had maybe 2 weeks after the wedding. It didn't belong on our wedding day. It didn't belong going to my husband in such a way of having him thinking about that on our wedding day. So I urge you, if you've had any situation like this in your life where you've had bad company cause conflict for you in any way that ruined your day or brought you back to a place, a flashback that kept you stuck, because that certainly kept me stuck. It certainly did. That comment kept me stuck, kept me going back to that place on our wedding day. And that's a place that really needed to be healed by God. And that's why I'm speaking about it today. Because God brought it to my attention that this is still a place in my life that hasn't been healed yet. And it needs the healing. I have to lift this to God every day and allow Him to help me on this journey to get those types of things that have happened healed. And so I urge you that if you are finding yourself in a place where you've had disrespect, you've had certain scenarios come up from people that were in your circle that shouldn't have been in your circle, that caused you harm in any way, mentally or emotionally, I urge you to set boundaries, to make sure that there's consequences when things like that happen, and lift it to the Lord. Allow Him to work through you and establish your steps. Allow Him to help you to discern who you should bring into the fold in your life. Who is going to be safe enough to be around you, to honor you, to respect you, and to help you on your journey while you're trying to heal. Bring it to the Lord. He will help you establish those steps. And I'm going to say this, if you're suffering from PTSD and you need therapy from a therapist, or if you need medicine to help you cope, whatever your vice is, I urge you to take it. I'm only going to share with you what works for me, and that's the Lord. He has been in my life through and through. He has been through my entire story, through my whole life, and He's helped me. He establishes my steps, and He is helping me on my healing journey now. So I want to invite you in. Give Him a chance. Let Him come into your life. Let Him come into your healing so that you can begin that journey today. May God bless you.